welcome to Uncork Your Mind. In this episode, it's all about Out at the Wineries wine tasting, March 2021.
Welcome to Uncork Your Mind, where we take the intimidation out of wine with your host, Debbie Giaquindo, the Hudson Valley wine goddess.
Hi, everyone. I'm going to share with you an experience that I had this past weekend going out wine tasting. Now, I have to say, COVID, kind of really threw actually everybody for a loop, and everyone's been in isolation. And it was a beautiful Sunday. So my girlfriend and I, Jen, had booked 2 reservations at 2 wineries here in New Jersey. And I have not been out wine tasting during COVID at all, except for the wine media tour that I went on. And I really can't count that because I was with a bunch of other wine writers. It was a completely different experience, and I wanted to get out and go do some wine tasting before the restaurant opens and gets into full swing, because then I'm not going to have a life for a couple months. It's all going to be about the restaurant. So I wanted to get out and start on getting back to some sort of normalcy. I will say I now have had my first shot, and after I get my second shot, I'm heading right up to the Hudson Valley, and I'm going to visit those wineries. But this was my first experience actually venturing out, visiting some wineries in New Jersey, and I realized, it's not the same, and I kind of like it. You need to make an appointment. This is something that, people aren't used to. I think it probably works better for wineries. Coming from a standpoint of a restaurant, when we have reservations, we base our staff and our food prep on the amount of reservations that we have for that particular night. So I think it's good for the wineries that they'll be able to know how many people will be passing through, their doors, what kind of staff that they'll need. So I urge people to make reservations, because you don't know if they'll be able to do a walk-in. I know the one winery that I did want to go to, Sharrett, they were sold out. So we ended up going to Bellevue. But, I waited till, I don't want to say the last minute. I think I did my reservations on Friday. So those are the different changes that you'll see. Go to the winery's website. Some you have to call. We did have to call Whitehorse, and others you can just make the reservation right on their website through whatever the reservation system that they're using, and you can choose pretty much where you want to taste if they have choices, being outside or a fire pit or inside, what have you. I will say one of the things that I really missed was going up and having that one-on-one conversation with the winery employee, and those different the 1-ounce pours where you can just if you don't particularly care for it, what have you, you can or if you're driving, you spit it in the dump bucket. I really did miss the interaction with the employees, going over all the different wine, answering the questions, watching the employees' facial expressions as they talk about like their favorite wine and what's behind the wine and the whole winemaking process. On our trip on Sunday, we didn't get any of that. And I know the wineries are doing the best that they can. I know they've had to adapt to a lot of changes this year, and I get it. Believe me, I get it. I own a restaurant. We've had to adapt and move forward as well. And this is in no means a way to criticize anything. I just want to show you how things have changed. Every winery experience is going to be different. And hopefully, as this is March, so typically there's not many people that, I don't want to say there typically isn't many people that go out wine tasting, but you get a nice day and, people want to be outside. They want to go out. They want to do stuff. So it's just in no way to criticize it. It's just that I just want to let you know that my experience last weekend as someone who has been held up for about a year, and wanted to get out. A lot of times, some of the wineries do have time limitations on how long that you can stay. It's usually an hour and a half. Please honor that. Don't decide that you want to, picnic and camp and, oh, I'll be able to stay longer, because there's somebody else that's coming in to take that seat, and they need to clean it, disinfect it, and get it ready for the next reservation that is coming in. And really, an hour and a half is a pretty good amount of time to sit at a winery and taste some wines. And I'll get off my high horse now. So our first winery stop, we stopped at Whitehorse, and I had made the reservation. I called. They didn't have a reservation thing online, and I called, and I requested a fire pit because you could do that. And since I'm always cold, I figured fire pit is definitely the way to go. And I just had such a wonderful time there. When we walked in, the lady had our reservation on the piece of paper. She crossed it off. They told us, showed us the tasting menu. They said you can get wine by the glass, and they had ones that were actually sold out. So I ordered the Chamberson, and Jen ordered the Cab Franc. And as we were waiting for that, another winery employee went out, told us we were at table 2. She went out and started the fire pit for us. She brought out water and some cups for us. It was wonderful. So we went out. All the tables are labeled by a big winery bottle, or wine bottle that has been shellacked with the number on it. And I'm telling you, I could have sat there all day, and there was no limitation. We really could have sat there all day. It was just beautiful, just sitting by the fire pit, drinking a glass of wine. I did have a second. I actually had the 2007 or 2017 Merlot, and it was just a wonderful, relaxing experience. What I did notice, though, when I went in to pay, they had gotten much more crowded. I went in to buy a bottle of the Merlot to take home, and there was people going out in flights. There was glasses going out in flights. I kind of wish that had been explained to us when we came in, and not just, you can order off the menu, because I think I would have liked to have done a flight of 2 reds and 2 whites. But whatever, it is what it is, and I'm looking forward to going back there. The second winery we went to was Bellevue, and that was about a 20-minute drive. So just keep in mind, when you're making your reservations, take into consideration the driving distance between the wineries that you're going to. So I had a 3 o'clock appointment at Bellevue, and we had a 1 o'clock appointment at Whitehorse. So it was plenty of time, an hour and a half at Whitehorse, and it was a 20-minute drive to Bellevue. So when we got to Bellevue, we walked up into the tasting room to like the cashier kind of person, and said we had a reservation, and she says okay, and she showed us the menu choices, and she says you can do wine by the glass, by the bottle, and they did have 4 different flights. So we chose I chose a dry white flight. Jen chose a dry red flight, and the girl told us to go out, pick a table. We can go outside to, any picnic table that's available, or there was an area inside that we could go to. So we were going to go out, we chose outside. And we sat just outside the door of the tasting room. And after about 15 minutes, and we saw the young lady, come out 2 or 3 times, I'm like, well, where's, our flights? So I went in, and there was another girl behind the bar, and I'm like, we ordered flights, and we haven't gotten them yet. And she kind of looked at me with a deer in headlights look, and then turned and said, did she order flights? And the young lady who had helped us said, oh yeah, they're right here, and she forgot to bring them out. I know, shit happens. I get it. I feel, we sat outside. It was beautiful. We had a really nice time. The flights, there was 4 tastings to a flight. They gave us some crackers with that. It was really, it was done nicely. But I really missed, the one thing I missed, and granted, this is the first time I've been out since the world changed. I miss that interaction with the staff. I miss hearing the details of the winemaking process, the details about the percentage of the different grapes that are in the wine. I guess, I guess I'm used to that, and I enjoy that, and I enjoy talking the human interaction. And I feel that it was kind of a little lost this past weekend. I know every experience in every winery is different, and I'm not quite sure if it's the whole COVID thing, because people are afraid if they spend too much time with you, even though you might, be a fair distance away, that they might be afraid that you might catch COVID, which is fair. It is fair. I get it. I get it because I worry about that too. But I just really missed that interaction and that knowledge swap. But I'm hoping to get out again as the weather gets nicer and try some different wineries. And I'm going to get up to the Hudson Valley and do my thing up there because I really missed that. I missed going up there, once a month. Um, but, as we all get back to normal and whatever the new normal is, we'll all adapt and we'll all change and we'll all strive ahead the best way we can. So, my advice, if you're going to go out wine tasting, make sure you make a reservation, leave time, ample time between wineries for travel, pack water, the wineries now have food. So I saw some wonderful, wonderful cheese plates at Whitehorse Winery that went out to their customers. They looked absolutely amazing. So get out and visit your local wineries and just have some fun. Be mindful that this is all, new and everybody's doing the best that they can. I'm Debbie Giaquindo, the Hudson Valley Wine Goddess. Thank you for listening. You can find me online at HudsonValleyWineGoddess.com. I'm on Twitter and Instagram as HV Wine Goddess and Facebook Hudson Valley Wine Goddess. You can also find me on Clubhouse. I'm Deb Giaquindo, and you can follow my Clubhouse room, Hudson Valley Bev Chat, and the fourth Monday of the month, we're going to start chats at 8 p.m. talking about all the craft beverages in the Hudson Valley area, the wine, the beer, the cider, the spirits, and that will also grow and will open up other times and other discussion topics as we get going. So thanks again and have a great day.